Namaskaraha. Namaskaraha. I hope I am audible. Vandetam madavaranendravadanam madbhagatheyakutim shundadantasuchalanena jagatam mayantarayamayan vidravya pranati prasanna hridayo yonukta eva swayam rakshatyanvahamaatmanoti viddam vaidyesha putrabhitham. Start with the recap. So we completed the Dantila Gorambha Katha in the last class, and we were continuing with the conversation that was happening between Damanaka and Sanjīvaka. And then after narrating the Katha of Dantila and Gorambha, Damanaka emphasized to Sanjīvaka that he had to keep in his mind Damanaka's importance in the kingdom and deal with him accordingly. So that was the reason he told about Dantila and Gorambha's Katha, where the great Dantila could be his power and all the advantages he enjoyed due to his proximity with the king could be destroyed by a mere sweeper Gorambha. So we were done with that Katha, and then listening to that, Sanjīvaka aha bhadra evameva itat yadbhavatabhihitam tadeva maya kartavyam iti evam abhihite damanakas tamadaya pingalakasakasham agamat ahaja devayesha mayanita sa Sanjīvaka. So he, after narrating the story, Sanjīvaka agrees to the terms and conditions, and then pingalakasakasham Damanakaha tam adaya agamat. So Damanaka takes Sanjīvaka to the Sannidhi of Pingalaka and then reports to Pingalaka Deva Yeshamayānitaha Sanjīvaka. Now Pingalaka and Sanjīvaka converse. Adhuna Deva Pramanam Sanjīvakopitam Sadaram Pranamyagratasya Vinayam Sthitaha Pingalakopitasya Pīnāyātaka Kudmataha Nathagulishalam Kritam Dakshinapanim Uparidatva Manapurassaram Uvacha Apishivam Bhavataha. So he inquires to Sanjīvaka, Apishivam Bhavataha, are you doing well? Kutastvam asmin vane vijane samayatusi. So what is the reason for your coming here, etc. And now Sanjīvaka speaks the truth. He says, Tena pyatmaka vrittantaha kathitaha yatha vardhamanena saha viyogaha sanjataha tatha sarvam niveditam. So the way he was separated from the Vardhamana and everything that followed thereafter, he narrated that to Pingalaka honestly. That Shrutva Pingalaka Sadarataram Tamuvacha Vayasya Nabhetam. So he addressed him as a friend and said, Nabhetavyam, please don't fear. Madhuja Panjara Parirakshitena Yathecham Tvayadhunavati. So you can now stay as you please under the safety of my arms. Madhuja Panjara Parirakshitena. Panjara is a cage. I'm sorry. I hope this is better now. Madhuja Panjara Parirakshitena. So, under the safety of my arms, you may now stay freely and do whatever that you please. You can roam around freely here, nothing to worry. Anyacha nityam matsamipavartina bhavyam, and you should always stay close to me. Why? Yataha karanati bahvapayam raudra sattva nishevitam vanam gurunapi sattvanam asevyam. So this kind of a forest that is the home to wild beasts, it is unsafe even for large beasts. Utaha shashpabhojinam. So what to say about grass eaters like you? Evam mukva sakala murga parivrito yamunakachamavadirya udakagrahanam kritva svechaya tadeva vanam pravishtaha tatascha karataka damanaka nikshipta rajyabharaha sanjīvakena saha subhashita goshthim anubhavan naste. So and then he becomes very close to Sanjīvaka and he places the Rajya Bhara in the hands of Karataka and Damanaka, his ministers, and he starts enjoying subhashitas in the company of Sanjīvaka and spends his time very nicely. Yadrichaya Pupanatam Sakrit Sajjana Sangatam Bhavat Yajaram Atyantam Nabhyasa Kramam Ikshate. So Yadrichaya Pi Sakrit Upanatam Praptam Sajjana Sangatam. So Sajjana Sangata, Sajjana Sangati, which is obtained even in an unplanned fashion. You don't plan for it and suddenly you encounter Sajjana Sangati. When that stays with us for a very, very long time. Atyantam ajaram bhavati. Abhyasa kramam na ikshate. So it does not want for repetition. That is, in order to be impactful, it is not needed that it is experienced over and over again, but just experienced once, it will do wonders. That is the power of Sajjana Sangati. Sanjivakena api aneka shastra avagahanat uppanna buddhi pragalbhyena stokaireva ahobhir mudhamatif pingalako dhimams tatha krito yatha aranya dharma dhyojya gramya dharmeshu niyojitah kim bahuna pratyaham pingalaka-sanjīvaka-samvaada kevalam rahasi mantrayatah. So Sanjivaka aneka shastra avagahanat uppanna buddhi pragalbhyena. So his intellect was very sharp. And what was the reason for the sharpness of his intellect? Aneka shastra avagahanat uppanna buddhi pragalbhyam. So his buddhi pragalbhya, sharpness of his intellect, was the result of immersing himself in many shastras. So he was both widely read, and each of the subjects that he was exposed to, he had immersed himself into it. So he had both width and depth, and because of that, his mind became sharp. So we can understand from this that for the sharpness of intellect, we require both depth and breadth. So depth is very important. Avagahana is important. Otherwise, if we are just going to study superficially, that will not give sharpness of intellect, is something that we can understand from him. Stokaireva ahobhihi. So with this kind of a capacity, within a very short span of time, within a very few days, mudhamatihi pingalaka. Pingalaka, who was actually a dullard, he was made into a dhiman. He was made into a person, so his intellect was sharpened. So he became a dhiman. Tatha kritaha. He was made into a dhiman in that way. How we can infer from this? Yatha aranya dharmati viyojya gramya dharmeshu saha pingalakaha niyojitaha. So he was made to indulge in aranya gramya dharma from aranya dharma. So aranya dharma here refers to uncivilized nature. Gramya dharma means civilized behavior. So from being a wild beast, he was converted to a sadh prani. He was converted to a civilized beast. Kim bahuna? What more to say? Pratyaham pingalaka-sanjīvaka-u eva kevalam rahasi mantrayatah. It went off to such an extent that now only Pingalaka and Sanjivaka spoke. They were talking separately. They were conversing separately. Nobody was interested in their goshti, because Sanjivaka was of a very high level, and he somehow pulled Pingalaka to his level, and the other animals were not interested in their conversation. So tau kevalam rahasi mantrayatah. It was only those two talking, conversing in private. Shesha sarvopi mrigajano duribhutas tisthati karataka damanakau api pravesham nalabhete. So even Karataka and Damanaka did not have access now. Anyatcha simha parakramabhavat sarvopi mrigajanas taucha shrigalu ksudha vyadhi badhitaha yekam disham ashritya sthita. So now, because of the absence of Simha Prabhava, so Simha was not doing its duty as the king of the forest. So there was nobody to, instruct the animals to go into hunting and then divide whatever was obtained by all the mrigas. So this was not happening due to the absence of the king, and because of that, Mrigajanaha, Sarvopi Mrigajana, all the animals, so they were all troubled by this disease called Kshudha. Everyone was troubled by hunger, and they were all together collected at one place. And Sanjivaka and Simha Pingalaka, they were roaming around elsewhere. Uttancha phalahinam ripam bhritya kulina pichonnatam santyajya anyatra gachanti shushkam vriksham ivandaja. So phalahinam ripam. So even a kulina unnata nripa, when phalahina, when working under him is not bearing any fruit, So one is not getting appropriate results. So even if a king is highly born and he is a great king, when working under such a king, a person does not get appropriate results, then anyatra tadrisham phalahinam nripam santyajya. So leaving such a nripa, bhrityaha sevakaha anyatra gachanti. Servants go elsewhere. They will not continue to stay with the king just because he is a Pulina and he is highly born and he is a great king. But of what use it is for them? So they will leave him. Shushkam vriksham andajaha iva. The way birds leave a dry tree, these people leave such a king. Api sammana samyukta Pulina bhakti datparaha. Vrittibhangan mahipalam tyajantyeva hi sevaka. So even good servants who are actually well-wishers and they have respect for the king, sammana samyukta, they know proper conduct, they know how to behave, they know seva dharma, and they are high-born, and in fact they have love for the king. Bhakti tatparaha api sevakaha vritti bhangad. So when they do not get their salaries, mahipalam tyajanti eva. Kalatikramanam vritter yona kurvita bhupatihi kadachittam namunchanti bhatsita api sevaka. So yaha bhupatihi, that king who does not does not do kalatikramana, that is, who gives wages in proper time, who does not who does not give way for postponement of crediting the salary. Vrittehe kalasya atikramanam. So vritti is proper wage, proper compensation. Kalatikramanam is postponement. So who gives away the wages in the right time. Yaha bhupatihi kalatikramanam nakurvita. The one who does not give scope for postponement of giving away the wages. Tam tadrisham bhupatim sevakaha bhatsitaha api namunchanti. So even when rebuked, sevaka will not leave such a king, because it is for vritti is of primary importance, so that is to be given in due time. I think we had seen this is today's portion. We have to start from here. Tatha na kevalam sevaka itham bhutaha yavat samastamapyeta jagat parasparam bhakshanartham samadhi rupayais tishtati. Tadyatha. Tatha na kevalam sevakaha itham bhutaha yavat samastamapi etat jagat parasparam bhakshanartham samadhi upayaihi tishtati. So, see, and it is not so just with the sevakas. Tatha na kevalam sevakaha itham bhutaha. It is not that the servants alone have this kind of behavior. Itham bhutaha kevalam sevakaha evam bhavanti iti ma chintayantu. Yavad samastamapyetat jagat. This entire world is engaged in parasparam bhakshanartham samadhibhihi upayaihi tishtati. See, this entire world is engaged in a kind of struggle. Okay, and for that it struggles for its existence. Samastamapyetat jagat parasparam bhakshanartham samadhibhihi upayaihi tishtati. So this entire world employs policies, various policies like sama, dana, bheda, datta, samadhibhihi upayaihi, samastamapi etat jagat, parasparam bhakshanartham tishtati. So it is engaged in this kind of a mutual struggle, okay, for existence. Bhakshanartha, bhakshanam means to eat, right? Bhakshanartha here means in order to survive. This entire world is engaged in in a kind of struggle for existence through the employment of different policies. In order to succeed, every species is involved in employs different kinds of policies. Some can use sama, another group can employ bheda, dana, danda, and so on. But what is definitely there is that every species, every being is interested in its own survival. So in order to ensure its survival, it will do whatever is required. Deshanam uparikshmapa aduranam chikitsakaha vanijo grahakanancha murkhanam api panditaha. These three verses are to be understood together. So I will read all the three and then explain one by one. Deshanam uparikshmapa aturanam chikitsakaha vanijo grahakanancha murkhanam api panditaha pramadinam tatha chaura bhikshuka grihamedhinam ganika kaminanchaiva sarvalokasya shilpinaha pramadinam tatha chaura bhikshuka grihamedhinam ganika kaminam chaiva sarvalokasya shilpinaha samadhi sajjitaiv pashaif pratikshante divanisham upajivanti shakyahi jalaja jalajaniva. Samadhi sajjitaiv pashaif pratikshante divanisham upajivanti shakyahi jalaja jalajaniva. So, so samadhi sajjitaihi pashaihi divanisham pratikshante. Pasha is a trap. Okay. So samadhi sajjitaihi pashaihi. So with traps of different forms, okay, with different kinds of traps. It can be in the form of sama, dana, bheda, danda. Each of this policy is nothing but a trap laid by one to lure the other. Pashaihi divanisham pratikshante. So they look out for something which is mentioned in the previous verses, day and night. They look out for something day and night. Who looks out for who? That is mentioned in the previous verse. Kshmapaha deshanam upari samadhi sajjitaihi pashaihi divanisham pratikshante iti anvayaha kartavyaha. So kshmapaha deshanam upari samadhi sajjitaihi pashaihi divanisham pratikshante. So kshmapaha, kshma refers to bhumi, kshmapaha is bhumi palaha, raja iti artha. So kshmapaha, kings, look out for countries. Deshanam upari, desha, country, and the people that live in the country together is referred to as deshaha. So deshanam upari samadhi sajjitaihi pashaihi pratikshante means what? So with traps formed of sama, dana, bheda, danda, kings look out for countries. So the king is the predator here, and the people in the country are the prey of the king. So they are looking out for the people, how to trap them, how to take advantage of them. Evameva aturanam upari chikitsakaha. So in the same way, the doctors are waiting with traps, looking out for rugnaha, aturaha, rogi, rugnaha, person with disease, a patient, ityartha. Aturanam upari chikitsakaha evameva pratikshante. The doctors are waiting for, looking out for patients in order to trap them and take advantage of them. Grahakanancha upari vanijaha, businessmen are similarly looking out for customers with traps. So they have their traps ready. They have various upayas. They employ different kinds of upayas in order to lure the customer and trap them. Okay. So we don't even require explanations for this as to how big companies lay trap for us in the form of advertisements. We experience it every day. Vanijaha grahakaanam upari pratikshante. Evameva murkhanam api upari panditaha. So scholars, okay, or so-called scholars, we can say, so they are looking out for foolish people. Okay, they are looking out for fools, okay, so that they can lure them in their own way. Like we have so many false scholars today, we have so many journals and so many articles keep coming up every day, and each one talks about some statistics, some proof, okay, and so many people get lured for it, right? And one day, so after the whole thing is done, suddenly one day it is announced that, you know, the previous statistics, whatever result was drawn from the previous data was false. That theory that somebody else proposed is false, and today somebody is proposing a new theory. So murkhanam panditaha, they exploit them in that way. So today, I think this morning I saw the news that the CJI, the Chief Justice, or maybe some other judge from the Supreme Court of India, has given this judgment that states cannot mandate vaccines, and it is the personal preference of somebody to opt for it or to not opt for it. But this has been done after 2 years of propaganda. And almost everybody is vaccinated now, and now there is a judgment like this. So this is a classic example, I would say, because scholars have been repeatedly announcing and giving their opinions in the last 2 years that it is good, go for it, go for it, go for it. But then suddenly now report is coming that, you know, it is not actually safe, and vaccine will not ensure that you are safe from corona and things like that. So this is a classic example of how scholars are looking to feed upon murkhas who have no knowledge. Pramadinam tatha chaura. Evameva chauraha. So thieves are always looking out for careless people, right, so that they can steal easily from them. Bhikshukaha grihamedhinam. So grihamedhinam upari bhikshukaha. I'm sorry, again there is a typo here. It should have been bhikshukaha. So beggars are looking out for grihasthas, because it is only the grihasthas who can feed them. They are, so of course this is in accordance with traditional ashrama dharma, where the brahmachari, vanaprastha and a sannyasi is not allowed to earn. Only grihamedhis, grihasthas, are allowed to make money. So bhikshukas, yachakas are always looking out for these people with money, so that their survival can be ensured. Kaminam upari ganikaha, and prostitutes, ganikaha, are always looking out for kamis, kamukas, who are not able to keep their lust under check. Sarvalokasya shilpinaha, and craftsmen, artisans, are always looking out for all the people who they can employ as sevakas. So sarvalokasya shilpinaha. Evameva samadhi sajjitaihi pashaihi sarve divanisham pratikshante. Yete Kshmapadayah, Kshmapaha, Chikitsakaha, Vanijaha, Panditaha, Chauraha, Bhikshukaha, Ganikaha, Yete Sarvepi Divanisham Pratikshante. They are all looking out for others day and night. Jalajaha, Jalajaniva Shaktya Upajivanti. So the way Jalajaha here refers to Neenaha, born in the water. So the way smaller fishes, less powerful fishes, look out for the bigger fishes. The more powerful fishes are always trying to exploit the powerless fishes and feed on them. Evameva yete api shaktya upajivanti. They are all, they all survive, based on power. Whoever is more powerful, he tries to feed upon the less powerful, and this is how the Loka Chakra, Vyavahara Chakra is going. Athava sadhvidam uchyate. So it is indeed rightly told, Sarpanancha khalanancha paradravyapaharinam abhipraya nasidhyanti tenedam vartate jagat. Sarpanancha khalanancha paradravyapaharinam abhipraya na siddhyanti tenedam vartate jagat. So see, also see, Panchatantra mentions and teaches to us the real nature of the world. Even though it is only dealing with the first three purusharthas, it does not forget to highlight the role of Daiva here and there, because it is also a fact that we see that Daiva plays an active role in this world, even though it is beyond this world, even though it is transcendental. It is participating in this transactional universe. Panchatantra reminds us of that fact now and then. Like in this verse, it says, Sarpanancha khalanam paradravya apaharinancha abhiprayaha nasithyanti. See, this whole world is engaged in mutual struggle for its survival. There is no doubt. But then, the abhiprayas of all these people, of all the, Sarpa, Khala and Paradravya Apahari. Sarpa is snake. Right? It is a representative of Durjana, of a person who is wishing to kill others, spoil others, cause some kind of a trouble, is represented by Sarpa. So the wish of a serpent, Khalanam, Khalaha, Dushtaha, itirtha. Dushtanam, Sarpanam, Paradravya Apaharinam, the wish of the person who wants to take away the dravya of another person. Yetesham abhiprayaha, the wishes, the intentions of these three, na siddhyanti. It is not always that their wishes are fulfilled. If in case if they were fulfilled, this whole world would collapse. There would be nothing good left in this world. And only because the wishes of these three are not fulfilled, because of the intervention of some other cause, which is otherworldly, which is Daiva, we have to understand it like that. Even though the intention of every being in this transactional plane is just to survive, and in order to survive, it is ready to cause harm to the other. Even though every species wants to ensure its own survival and destroy the other, it does not happen that the wishes of all these species are fulfilled, and it does not always happen that whoever wills for the destruction of the other is always given the satisfaction of the realization of his wish. It does not happen so. And because of that, because yetesham abhiprayaha nasiddhyanti, tasmat tena idam jagat vartate. That is why this world is still going on and things are happening. Not everyone's wish is fulfilled. Another beautiful verse. Attum vanchati shambhavo ganapaterakhum ksudhartah phani tanchakram charipo shikhi girisuta simho pinagashanam itham yatra parigrahasya ghatana shambhorapi syadgruhe tatranyasya katham na bhavi jagato yasmat swarupam hitat. Attum vanchati shambhavo ganapaterakhum ksudhartah phani tanchakram charipo shikhi girisuta simho pinagashanam itham yatra parigrahasya ghatana shambhorapi syadgruhe tatranyasya katham na bhavi jagato yasmat swarupam hitat. Do the padacheda. Attum vanchati shambhavaha ganapatehe akhum shudhartaha shudha artaha phani tancha tamcha krauncha ripoho shikhi girisuta simhaha api naga ashanam tham yatra parigrahasya ghatana shambhoho api syat grihe tatra anyasya katham na bhavi jagataha yasmat swarupam hi tat. So this is a beautiful description of what is happening in the house of Lord Shiva. Shambhoho grihe itham parigrahasya ghatanasya. So this parigrahasya ghatana, parigraha here means, parigraha means to take something, to grab something. This affair, ghatana, this affair of grabbing one thing and the other, grabbing of one thing by another, if it is going to happen in the very house of Lord Paramashiva, itham evam syachet tatra anyasya katham na bhavi. And how can we say that it will not happen in the case of another person or another situation? So what is happening in the house of Lord Shiva? Shambhavaha ksudhartaha phani ganapatehe akhum attum vanchati. Shambhavaha ksudhartaha phani. Phani is the one that has phana, sarpaha. Kidrishaha sarpaha, shambhavaha sarpaha. So the serpent that is around the neck of Lord Shiva, belonging to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva's serpent, Shudhartaha san. So being very hungry, what does it want to do? Ganapatehe akhum attum vanchati. It wants to eat the vahana, the mouse of Ganapati. So he is akhu vahana. Ganapati is known as akhu vahana, mushakaha ityartha. So Ganapatehe vinayakasya mushakam attum vanchati, bhakshayitum vanchati. It wants to eat the mouse of Lord Shiva. And tam akhum krauncha ripoho shikhicha attum vanchati. Sorry, tam akhum, I'm sorry again. Tam sarpam, okay. Tam bhani, okay. So tam sarpam, so that serpent, krauncharipoho shikhi. Krauncharipuhu is Lord Muruga. Lord Subramanya is called Krauncharipuhu because he destroyed the Krauncha mountain, the Asura who took the shape of Krauncha mountain. So in the Veera Mahendrapura, so he is called Krauncharihi, Krauncharipuhu. So Krauncharipoho Subramanyasya shikhi mayuraha, shikhi ityasya mayuraha, peacock ityartha. So the peacock of Lord Subramanya wants to eat that sarpa, right? Because it is called sarpa bhoji. So mayura feeds on the serpent. So tam sarpam, tam shambhavam sarpam, krauncharipoho shikhi cha attum vanchati. So the Vahana of Lord Subramanya wants to feed on the snake. And there is another animal there. Girisutayaha simhaha api tatra kailase vasati. Girisuta Parvati, Parvatyaha simhaha, Vahana bhutaha simhaha, the vehicle of Ma Parvati, api Naga Ashanam, Naga Ashana, the one who feeds on Naga, which is Mayura. It wants to devour on that Mayura. So this Simha wants to grab the peacock and eat it up. Attum vanchati. Evam rupena yatra shambhoho grihe api parigrahasya ghatana syat. If this is the situation in the very house of Lord Shiva, tatra anyasya katham na bhavi. Then how can you say that it will not happen in case of something else, somebody else's place? It will not happen. How can you say? Katham na bhavi. Evam vidhaha kalahadi prakaraha katham na bhavet. Evam rupaha kalahaha anyatra katham na bhavet iti katham vaktum shakyate. Yasmat, because jagataha swarupam hi etat. So this is the very nature of the world. The transactional universe is like this only. We only have to accept this. So, hope it is clear. Now we will continue with. Now Damanaka and Karataka are together once again, and they are going to converse. Tataha Swami Prasada Rahitau Kshut Kshama Kantau Parasparam Karataka Damanakau Mantrayete. Tatra Damanako Brute Arya Karataka Avam Tavad Apradhanatam Tatu. Yesha Pingalaka-sanjīvaka-samvaada vyapara-paramukha-san. Chamita. Yesha Pingalaka-sanjīvaka-samvaada vyapara-paramukha-sanjātah. Sarvopi parijano dataha. Kim kriyate? Tataha. Swami prasada rahitau. Kshut kshama kantau. Parasparam Karataka Damanakau mantrayete. Now, Karataka and Damanaka talk to each other, converse among each other. How are they? Swami Prasada Rahitu. Now they have been deprived of Swami Prasada. Swami is not even giving them audience. Okay? He is roaming around freely, enjoying Subhashitas from Sanjīvaka. So these people have become Swami Prasada Rahitas and they are very, very hungry. Chut Kshama Kantu. They are parched by hunger. Parasparam Karataka Damanako Mantrayete. Tatra Damanako Brute. Now Damanaka says, Arya Karataka, dear Karataka, Avam Tavad Apradhanatam Tata. We have become unimportant. We have become nobody. Back to our position. Yesha Pingalakaha, this Pingalaka, Sanjīvaka Anuraktaha, Swavyapara Paramukhaha Sanjātah. Now this Pingalaka has become indifferent to his own duties. Swavyapara, Swakarma Paramukhaha. He has become indifferent to his own duties and his own vyapara, and he has become too much involved with Sanjīvaka. Sanjīvaka Anuraktaha. So he is too much involved and he has become a beloved of Sanjīvaka. He is too much interested in Sanjīvaka and has forgotten his duties. And Sarvopi Parijano Gataha. And all the Parijana, all the subordinates have gone. What should we do now? Tat kim kriyate? What is to be done? Karataka aha. Yadyapi tvadiya vachanam nakaroti tathapi swami swadoshanashaya vachyaha uttancha. Karatakaha aha. Yadyapi tvadiya vachanam nakaroti swami swadoshanashaya vachyaha. Swami swadoshanashaya vachyaha. So Karataka says, even though now Swami is Sanjīvaka Anurakta, he will listen only to Sanjīvaka. We don't have an audience and he will not listen to you. Tvadiya vachanam Swami nakarishyati. Nakaroti. Iti asmabhihi samyak nyayate eva. Tathapi swadosha nashaya vachyaha. He is to be spoken to. He is to be informed. Why? In order to avoid future dosha. So that we will get blamed in future that as ministers we have not advised him. In order to avoid being blamed, Swadosha Nashaya Saha Vachyaha. So he is to be told. So that there is no charge against us in future. He is to be spoken to now. Saha Vachyaha. Tena Saha Samvadaha Kartavyaha eva. Yadyapi saha tvadiya vachanam nakaroti nashrunoti tathapi saha vachyaha. Yatohi ashranmannapi bodhavyo mantribhih prithivipatihi yatha swadoshanashaya vidurenam vikasutaha. Ashranmannapi bodhavyo mantribhih prithivipatihi Yatha swadoshanashaya vidurenam vikasutaha. Ashranman api bodhavyaha mantribhihi prithivipatihi yatha swadoshanashaya vidurena ambikasutaha. Prithivipatihi, the king, ashranman api, even when he is not listening. Mantribhihi swadoshanashaya bodhavyaha. So he is to be, he is to be made to realize something. Saha bodhavyaha. He has to be made aware of the situation, even when he is not listening. Kimartham swadoshanashaya, in order to avoid any future blame. Okay. Kaihi bodhavyaha, mantribhihi bodhavyaha. He is to be informed, he is to be made aware by the ministers. It is the duty of the ministers. How? Yatha vidurena ambika sutaha pura bodhitaha. The way Ambika Sutta Dhritarashtra. So Ambika was the son of Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was the son of Ambika. Pandu was the son of Ambalika. Ambika and Ambalika, these two were sisters. We know their story. So Ambika Sutaha Purvam Mahabharata Samaye Kale Yatha Vidurena Bodhitaha. So he was informed, he was repeatedly made aware of the situation, of the dire consequences of his own action by his minister, loyal minister Vidura. Vidura knew very well that Dhritarashtra is not going to listen to him. But then we have this entire corpus of Vidura Niti. Okay, so the whole of Vidura Niti is an advice given by Vidura to Dhritarashtra, knowing fully well that he will not listen to him. He is not going to act upon one single advice of Vidura. Vidura knew this. But still, he chose to continue to advise the king because it was his duty, and if had he not advised, he would have to incur the blame of not doing his duty, going away from the duty of his own duty as a minister. In order to do that, he continuously made Dhritarashtra aware of his wrong policies, of his wrong decisions. Evameva asmabhirapi kartavyam iti idanim Karatakaha Damanakam vadati. Now Karataka gives the same advice to Damanaka, that Damanaka, you may think, you may know very well that our king will not listen to you, but still it is our duty to make him aware that he has forgotten his duties. Tathacha Madonmattasya bhupasya kunjarasya chagacchataha unmargam vachyatam yanti mahamatra samipagaha. Madonmattasya bhupasya kunjarasya chagacchataha unmargam vachyatam yanti mahamatra samipagaha. Mada unmattasya bhupasya kunjarasya cha gacchataha unmargam vachyatam yanti mahamatraha samipagaha. Mada unmattasya unmargam gacchataha bhupasya kunjarasya cha. So bhupa and kunjara. Bhupaha raja, kunjaraha gajaha. So bhupasya kunjarasya cha mahamatraha. The ministers of Mahamatraha has two meanings. It refers to Amatya, minister, and it also refers to a person who drives an elephant. Hastipaka. So the one who drives an elephant, he is called a Mahamatra, and Amatya is also referred to as Mahamatra. So Mahamatraha, Samipagaha, so the ones near the king, the ministers and the elephant drivers near the elephant and the king, Vachyatam yanti. So they incur blame in the future. Kidrishasya nrupasya kunjarasya mada unmattasya unmargam gacchataha bhupasya. So mada unmattasya bhupasya. So a king who is intoxicated with mada, is brimming with pride, too much of ahankara, not listening to anybody. Unmargam gacchataha, and is going astray, is not going on the way that is required of him to proceed. He is not following dharma. He is not ensuring his Raja dharma. Something else is happening. He is going astray. In case of both the Bhupa and Kunjara. So Kunjara can also be Mada Unmatta and it can go astray. Unmargam gachanne kunjaraha unmargam gachanne madamattasya unmargam gacchataha kunjarasya. Kunjarasya mahamatraha. So the ministers of an elephant that is intoxicated and going astray. Bhupasya mada unmattasya unmargam gacchataha mahamatraha. and the ministers of a king who is brimming with pride, intoxicated and going astray. Both these people, vachyatam yanti, they respectively incur blame. In future, they will be blamed for the wrong decisions or for the damage that will be caused by these two people, by the elephant and the king respectively. Tatvayesha shashpabhoji swaminaha sakasham anitaha swhastenangara shita tat tvaya yeshaha shashpabhoji Swaminaha sakasham anitaha tad swahastena angaraha karshita. Now Karataka tells Damanaka, see, tvaya, by you, yeshaha shashpabhoji, this grass eater Sanjīvaka, Swaminaha sakasham anitaha, was brought near our Lord by you. So you are to be blamed. Tat swahastena angaraha karshita. And you have rubbed angara. Angara refers to burning charcoal. Okay, so you have rubbed angara with your own hands. Swahastena angaraha karshita. This is an idiomatic expression. What does it mean? You have invited nuisance. You went and burnt your own hand. You could have been silent. You said you wanted to grow high up in the ladder and that you will get close to the king and do this, do that, and then you will solve the king's problem, invade Sanjīvaka. You had so much plan, and this is the result of your action. You have burnt your own hand. Astena angaraha karshita. Damanaka aha satyametat mamayam doshaha na swaminam. Damanaka now says satyam. This is true, Karataka. I am not going to contest you here because it is indeed my fault. Mama ayam doshaha. Ayam mama doshaha. This is my fault. Na swaminaha, not swamis. Uktancha. Jambuko hudu yudhena vayam chashadha bhutina bhutika parakaryena trayodosha swayam kritaha. Jambuko hudu yudhena vayam chashadha bhutina Dutika parakaryena trayodosha swayam kritaha. This is the Pithika to another story. He says, Damanaka is about to narrate a story. He says, Kuduyudhena Jambuka. Kudu refers to a male sheep. It's referred to as a Kuduyudhena. Because of the fight between two male sheep, Jambuka, a jackal, and Ashadha Bhutina, and we, due to Ashadha Bhuti, who is Ashadha Bhuti, we are going to see in the story, and Dutika Parakariyana, and Dutika, the female messenger, because of the work of another person, because of doing something for another person, parakarya, because of doing a favor to somebody else, trayaha, yete trayaha doshaha. So these three doshas are swayam kritaha. They are all self-made. They are not the doing of other people, but these three doshas were self-inflicted. Nobody else is the reason here for these three cases. And what is the story? We are going to see. Karataka aha katha. So Karataka is asking, what is this that you are telling me? How did it happen? It's going to narrate the story. Ashadha Bhuti Jambuka Bhuti Katha. This is the story of Ashadha Bhuti, a Jambuka, and a Dutika, a Duti, a female messenger. Asti kasminschid vivikta pradeshe mathayatam tatra deva sharma nama parivrajakaha prativasati sma tasyaneka sadhu janadatta sukshma vastra vikrayavashat kalena mahati vittamatra sanjata tataha sa nakasyachid vishwasiti naktam dinam kakshantarattam matram nam uchati athava sadhu chedam uchate. Asti Kasminschid vivikta pradeshe mathayatam tatra deva sharma nama parivrajakaha prativasati sma. tasya aneka, it's a long compound, tasya aneka sadhu jana datta sukshma vastra vikraya vashat kalena mahati vitta matra sanjata tataha saha na kasyachit vishwasiti naktam dinam kakshantarat tam matram na munchati athava sadhu cha idam uchyate. Kasminchit vivikta pradeshe mathayatanam asti. Now there is a monastery, there is an ashrama in a secluded place. Vivikta pradeshe. Tatra, tasmin mathe, in that ashrama, in that matha, Deva Sharma nama parivrajakaha pradivasati. There is a parivrajaka, there is a sannyasi living in that matha. Tasya aneka sadhu jana datta sukshma vastra vikraya vashat kalena mahati vittamatra sanjata. So he acquired a lot of wealth in time. Kalena mahati vittamatra, a lot of money. So sanjata. Katham aneka sadhu jana datta sukshma vastra vikraya vasat. Aneka sadhu jana, many good people, sadhu janas who were visiting the monastery, gave him fine garments, sukshma vastra, and he used to sell them. Sukshma vastra vikraya vashat, because of selling the fine garments that were given to him by many good souls. Sadhu jana datta sukshma vikraya vastra vikraya vashat kalena, in due course, what happened? He became very wealthy. Mahati vitta matra sanjata tataha sanakasyachit vishwasiti. So what happened? He did not trust anybody. He did not trust anybody. Kasyachit saha na vishwasiti. Naktam dinam, day and night. Kakshantarat tam matram namunshati. So what happened? See, he had accumulated a lot of wealth. We can think of it as a bundle of wealth. With the matra, matra here refers to a property, a bundle basically. Okay, so this bundle he always kept in his kakshantara, okay, under his armpit, okay, and never left it. Always naktam dinam he had it by his side, under his armpit. Athava sadhu jayanam uchyate. Arthanam arjane dukkham arjitanam cha rakshane aye dukkham vyaye dukkham dhigartha kashta samshrayah. Arthanam arjane dukkham arjitanam cha rakshane aye dukkham vyaye dukkham dhigartha kashta samshrayah. Arthanam arjane dukkham arjitanam cha rakshane aye dukkham vyaye dukkham dhik arthaha kashta samshrayah. So it is indeed wisely told. This poor fellow had a lot of money, but he faced a lot of trouble because he was always worried if somebody will take them, steal that away. So he always had to carry it. Poor fellow. So it is told indeed rightly that arthanam arjane dukkham. So one has to experience dukkha when accumulating wealth. So even when accumulating, when one is earning, we only say hard-earned money. Right? So we have to earn it in the hard way. So there is a lot of dukkha involved in accumulating wealth, in the earning of wealth. Making money is not an easy process. Arjitanam rakshane api dukkhameva. Then, in order to protect what has been earned, what has been accumulated, what has been earned, there is again dukkham. Aye dukkham, vyaye dukkham. So so when there is a profit, okay, when there is an incoming, there is dukkha. And how to spend, where to spend again. Even in spending, there is dukkha that is involved. Vyaye dukkham, dukkha. Kashta samshrayaha arthaha dhik. So it's shame on this artha, okay, which is the refuge of trouble or dukkha. It looks like a repository of dukkha. Shame on it. Why spend time on accumulating it at all? Ashtasamshrayaha arthaha dhik. This is a verse which feeds upon artha. It says, shame on it. Why spend so much of time in accumulating wealth and then protecting it? The end result of which is just dukkha. This is a very nice usage one can notice here. Usually, dhikyoge dvitiyayaha prayogaha eva bhavati. So usually when we use dhik, we use it with dvitiya vibhakti. That is the popular usage. Okay. For example, when I say dhing mam, shame on me, dhik tam, shame on her, it's always with dvitiya. But this is quite a rare usage where it is used with prathama. It's very rarely used with prathama, and it is sometimes used with shashti and with sambodhana also, but these are rare usages. Usually you will find dhik with vidya only, but this is a rare usage with prathama. Ashtasamshrayaha arthaha dhik. Okay, next verse. There is no verse. We are continuing with the story. I can take questions if there are any, or if there are no questions, I can continue. PG Mahodaya, am I audible? You can unmute yourself. Yes, Mahodaya.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Bhagini, can you please tell us, this is my question is not related to this verse or this chapter. Just I would like to request you if you can give us a brief idea how the assessment is going to happen, because for me and maybe for some others also, it is very difficult to remember all the verses. So how to prepare for the assessment, we are not sure.
Okay. I will definitely let you know. Maybe tomorrow or by next Tuesday, I will let you know definitely. But you can be sure that it will not involve memorizing all the verses. You can be very sure of that. So you don't have to worry.
Dhanyawada.
Nagaratnam Mahodaya.
Dutika itikte kim Bhagini?
Dutika, Dutaha. Dutaha, messenger. Dutika, female messenger.
Okay. Vittamatra itikte dhanam Bhagini?
Vittamatra. See, Vittamatra is a property. Okay. Vittasya matra. So it can be a bundle. Okay. Here we can take it as a bundle.
Akum ityukte kim Bhagini?
Akhuhu mushakaha.
Mushaka.
Akhuhu mushakaha.
Astu Bhagini.
Akhuvahanaha. Iti vinayakasya aparannama. Akhuvahanaha. Mushakavahanaha.
Dhanyavadah. Grihametinam grihasthaha va?
Grihastha. Yes. Grihamedhin refers to a grihastha. Grihaihi, I'm sorry, I have written here but forgot to mention. Grihaihi daraihi medhate sangachate.
Anantaram jalajani vaha ityukte
Jalajaha jalajan yatha vajivan. So the way a smaller fish feeds on a bigger fish feeds on another fish, a fish feeds on a fish, the more based on the shakti, right? So the more powerful one feeds on the lesser fish, the less powerful one. Evameva samadhi sajjitaihi pashaihi kshmapaha what was it? Kshmapaha deshanam upari pratikshante.
Dhanyavadah Bhagini.
Sunil Mahodaya.
Shruyate Mahodaya?
Shruyate.
Namo Namah. Mama prashna asti sampurna panchatantrasya adhyanam Kurma. We'll study the entire Panchatantra.
No. For this course, we have only planned Mitrabhedha. That itself is very long. So we will see. Let this get over. But there are 4 other tantras are there. So let us first finish with this. The Mitrabheda is the most widely studied portion of the Panchatantra. We have it as a...
Yeah. Second question was, Madam, there are many commentaries like from a long time, 100 years or so. I have one by Mr. H.R. Vishwas also from Sanskrit Bharati, and there are Hindi and English commentaries also with every word detailed. So what would you recommend? What you put on the Vyoma page?
Sorry,
my question was, what would you recommend? The one you put on the Vyoma page.
So, see, I have not recommended any English commentary because we tend to study the we tend to study the English translation beforehand, and that kind of spoils the fun of reading the original and enjoying it. So I have not recommended any English translation by myself, but you are free to study any of the books each of the book that you have mentioned is a wonderful book. So you may use any one of them.
The one from Sanskrit Bharati has Sanskrit interpretation. Others have Hindi and English. So
okay, you may use that. I am not, yeah, but I did learn about this book by Sanskrit Bharati, but I have not seen it yet. I am sure that many people have told me, have mentioned that book to me. I'm sure it would be really useful. So you may use it.
Astu Mother. Dhanyavad.
There are other questions. Vijay.
Hello. Just now we came across some word which is very, very long. And I was just wondering if there are some rules about when you are permitted to combine many words to make one long word and when you should not.
For that, we will have to get into a grammar session because this is not a grammar class. I would say that you will get a hang of it as you study more and more. So, in fact, studying grammar alone, one does not get a hang of it. So, when we study more and more of kavyas, one naturally gets a hang of it. What I would say, we cannot get into that in this class because this is a textual study class. That itself is taking a very long time because Mitrabheda has around 500 verses, I guess. Around 400 or 430. Yeah, it has around 500 verses. So if I get into grammar, samastapada, this and that, we will be missing we cannot complete the portion at all. So here and there, wherever possible, I am trying to give some indications of grammatical points, but otherwise it will be very difficult to make it into a Vyakarana session. So I would recommend other courses on Vyoma page if you are interested in Vyakarana. There are so many courses for Vyakarana that are available. So I would recommend that you have a look at that.
Thank you.
Jairam Mahodaya.
Namaskara, Devi. Namaskara. I got two questions. I mean, one is this, you said Angaraka, I understand, is the planet Mars, right?
No. This is not Angaraka. This is Angara.
Yeah, but I was just curious, is there a relationship between the two words? Is it because Mars is red in color, right?
Yeah. Could be.
Okay.
But I'm not really sure of the Vyupati. Maybe I will look into it and come back to
okay.
But yeah, I think it is very much possible that the two are related.
Okay, and the second question
Angara
is
and Angaraka, yes, it is definitely because see the ka, the pratyaya that is added, it is usually added in the, for example, we say Radha eva Radhika. Okay, so when you add the pratyaya ka, it is added in the same artha. So Angara, and from that definitely Angaraka should be derivable. But I can have a look at the Vyutpatti and get back tomorrow.
And the other question was Vishwasiti. Vishwasiti meaning trust. I had raised this question in the Q&A. So I thought, why is it using the Shashti? I thought it would be Saptami usage, you know? Kasmin's chit Vishwasiti in Paril. Couldn't they say that? No, my question is, here the usage is they have the Shashti usage. Saha na kasyachit Vishwasiti. Shouldn't it be Kasmin's chit Vishwasiti? He doesn't trust in anybody, no?
Yeah, it makes sense. Kasminschit Vishwasiti, Kasyachit Vishwasiti. I think that there can be usages like that. In fact, I wanted to get back to you about a previous usage, but I guess the other class I forgot, because you asked there was one doubt raised by you, wherein you had mentioned as to why there is a Shashti usage with Trip Dhatu. There was a verse, I forgot the verse, but I wanted to answer that day because see, with the Trip Dhatu, Tritiya is the usual vibhakti that is used. But then there are rare usages with Shakti, Shashti as well, where the so Trip is the Kriya, right? So that is the experience. So whatever is the reason for that experience is mentioned in Shashti Vibhakti, and there is a usage for that. Similarly, Trip Dhatu, even Saptami is used sometimes. For example, Yagne Devaha Tripyati. Yagne Devaha Tripyati. Yajnasya Devaha Tripyati. Yajnena Devaha Tripyati. All the three usages are there. Okay. So one is a popular usage, like we say for Dhik. Vidya is the popular usage, but there are rare usages with Prathama and Shashti and even Sambodhana.
Maybe even Yajnaya Tripyati also.
No. See, but it is not found. The usage is only with Shashti. And Tritiya is the most common, and rarely used are Shashti and Saptami. And for this also, I think with Shashti also there could be there is a rare usage, because the use. So see, grammar is the rules are codified only based on usage.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Yes. So this is very interesting to see different usages in the kavyas.
So that is the primary use of studying a kavya, where we encounter so many idiomatic usages we encounter. Otherwise, we will never get to know these.
Agreed. Yeah.
And it is more easier to learn Vyakarana through the study of kavya.
Yes.
Otherwise, studying Vyakarana, just studying Vyakarana, personally, I have not been motivated like that. So the little Vyakarana that I know only through the study of kavya. So I would recommend that for others as well.
The word Chmapa is, how does the word
Kshma refers to Bhumihi. So Kshmapaha refers to the one who takes care of Bhumi. So Mahipalaha ityarthe.
Okay.
I think we can stop here for now, because there is another class that has to start at 8 o'clock. I think we can continue tomorrow. So if there are any other questions, I will take tomorrow, Mahodaya.
Okay, madam. Thank you.
Astu. Viramamaha. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.